Okay, welcome to episode 61 of the Beer and Bullshit Show. I am the host, Chris Bennett. Woo!
Woo!
And looks like we have an abbreviated cast tonight. Very abbreviated. Jessica keeps coming in and out, in and out, in and out. Jim Bab,
Yo.
what you got for us tonight, buddy?
Okay, I think I got to start out. I've been sort of hoarding just a couple of these left from this summer. I got some Maine Beer Company left. Another one in the 500 milliliter bottle. So it's a good serving size. It's not quite a bomber. A little bit more than a 12 ouncer. So this is one of my favorite beers. I haven't had it though in a couple months now. But look at the weird yellowish color it has. For a double IPA, it's kind of a funky color.
Wow.
Still tastes fresh though. Yum. Actually, it's got a little bit of a metallic taste. I don't know I don't know if just my palate is screwed up or.
And I still got a whole bunch from my friend in California that I haven't even opened yet because I keep buying more beer, of course. You know, first world problems, right?
Yeah.
But to start off, I went to a microbrewery up in Kankakee, Illinois. Well, just north of Kankakee, Illinois. And they're called Brickstone Brewery. They're a brewery and a restaurant. And I'm going to give them their beer and bullshit bump.
Okay. All right. Hey, we could make or break these breweries.
They don't have beer except for like growlers and stuff to go, but they are canning their products now, and they just broke ground on a standalone brewery. So I'm hoping I can get some of their stuff somewhere in the future down where I live. And their beer is called the Hop Skip. It's an APA.
Okay.
And
16
it is really
can?
good.
I couldn't quite tell.
I liked it.
Is it a 16-ounce can or a 12-ounce?
Probably one of the best Illinois beers out there. So
what size is that can? Is it 16 or 12?
I won't get to it tonight, but I've got here the Firestone Union Jack IPA.
Oh yeah, classic.
So
nice. Never had anything bad from Firestone. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Keep talking.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. In fact, coming up later, I've got Firestone as well from Wookie Jack. So.
And you know what? I almost picked up a 4-pack of the Wookie Jack, but I was just like, I'll be back up here in November, or in the area in November. So, and I can't get Firestone Walker down where I live, so I've got to go closer to Chicago and get it. But okay. I almost got that, and I was just like, I'll wait until my beer supply goes a little low.
Where was it? I just saw they had like a limited bomber release of something that looked pretty good.
I'm gonna open up here one of the beers that my friend from California. It's the El Segundo from El Segundo. It's the Mayberry IPA.
Barney approves. Can you hear me okay? It seems like you can't hear me.
I can hear you, but hold on. Just keep talking.
Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me check my audio input level. See if is it low or.
No, it's on my end.
Okay. Testing 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. Had the wrong mic for input. How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's actually on my end. Sorry about that.
All right. No, that's okay. Can we work it out, or is it better now, or what's the situation?
Hold on. All right.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you were talking about, you got the Mayberry IPA.
Mayberry IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company.
My joke was Barney approves. Maybe Aunt B sips one, occasionally.
Well, it's a 7.2%er, so
she drinks it for medicinal purposes.
Okay. It might get her a little tipsy. So I'm sure you've heard that InBev has put in an offer for Miller SAB Miller. Everybody's freaking out over it.
Not me.
I guess the Justice Department Department's going after InBev because they've been buying up distributors distributing centers across the country. So
it's pretty hilarious when you think about it. Like, look at how screwed up the whole beer industry is. You've got these state monopolies enforced. Okay, you got these cartels with these ridiculous licenses and all kinds of limitations on who can sell what to who and when and what time of day and what quantities and where, and state, local, federal, county, local stupid municipalities. Like, everybody's got their hands screwing up this industry, right?
Right.
But now they screwed it up to the point where they're like, well, and now we got to bring the feds in here because we don't like the way that it's played out, right?
Right. I mean, InBev.
Insane.
We know InBev is not too kind to craft beer.
Who cares, right?
I'm proposing, if InBev's going to pull this shit, okay, of buying up distributors, heck, think about starting some distributing myself, a distributor myself.
Yeah, or you know what? How about these screwed up laws that say, oh, the brewery must have a distributor instead of just selling directly, right? Well, so it's like these governments set up this opportunity to corner the market by limiting the number of distributors and forcing people to use distributors when we could just buy directly from breweries, right?
Right.
So why do we even need distributors when you think about it? Like, otherwise, other than just making it easy on store owners, to get one big shipment of stuff, and if they prefer that. But I don't think it would be quite the lucrative acquisition opportunity for InBev to grab distributors if it wasn't mandated by law that they exist, right? Because if they decided to get predatory with their whole distributor network, people just say, sorry, we're just not going to use that. If I ran a bar, I could easily make deals with 3-4 breweries, either local or anywhere else in the country, and just be like, just make sure I get this many kegs, every Friday.
You
I
know,
think I think the I think the
goes
thing
on.
is, I think the thing is that especially around here, most stores get deliveries twice a week, and that's the reason why we have the distributors is so they can just drop off a whole bunch of stuff at the distributor and have the distributor distribute to the stores. I think
Sure.
in this case, it would be a lot easier for Sam Adams just to come straight to the distributor and say, okay, boom, we're going to give you such and such every week. Or if they've got that fleet, because sometimes they don't, Sam Adams doesn't have the manpower, the fleet to do that. So, I mean, that's why they have distributors. So,
Well, I mean, that's the purpose they can serve, right? But when it becomes mandatory, you know, it just distorts the whole market.
so I don't know. I would love to have a distributor myself, okay, and just specialize in just distributing craft beer. That's it.
Yeah, why not? And you know, bring the service and the expertise to to it. You know, especially if you're working with like if you're working with a grocery store, for instance, or a craft beer bar of some kind, you know,
Right.
or a bottle shop or something, or whatever it might be. You know, you can work with them. I mean, you could work with like say the nearest like Super Fresh, okay? Be like, look, okay, we understand that like, okay, 80% of your market is Bud and Coors. Okay, that's fine. Here's an emerging market you need to be, handling, right? Like where are the craft beer people going? Are they coming to Super Fresh? No. Okay. Well, why would you like them to? Yes. Well, here's our recommend, based on on your location, here's a list of 40 or 50 beers that we recommend that you carry, and you check it off. We call this package A. You check here, and we deliver the 40 top, craft beers in this region. You don't have to even worry about what they are. They just show up, and you stick them on the shelf. How many grocery stores could benefit from that service?
Right. Because I think even with my distributor, they kind of like, I don't know, the domestic beer is their profit. I understand that, okay, because they're gonna sell shit ton more of Miller Lite, Coors Light, than they're gonna sell at the Sam Adams. But the Sam Adams markup is a lot more than the Miller Lite, the Coors Light, because there's actually more that goes into a craft beer than just what Miller Lite and Coors Light have. So
right. Hey, I love to see a competitive marketplace, and it just frustrates me when I see the market being hindered by bullshit. Because I know that there's these brewers want to make great beer, and I know that there's people like us out here that want to buy that great beer, and then there's this like 100 parasites that want to get in between us.
Right.
So I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the Justice Department needs to get involved in beer. What a joke.
Yeah. So
get us some beer justice. Insane.
also, from what I understand, is that SAB Miller is going to sell off their stake in Miller here in North America to Coors. So, I mean, we won't be. We won't be under the InBev umbrella here in North America. So that kind of saves me, because I told my bosses, I was like, I'm not working for InBev. I will quit. I will quit. I will quit tomorrow if we got to work
Well,
under
no,
InBev.
what is your main reason that you wouldn't work for them? I mean, I know we kind of make fun of them, but what would be your primary say? Just like I can't, I could work for Walmart, but I can't work for InBev.
Because they marginalize the craft beer. They buy up these breweries, microbreweries, and then they water their shit down. Beck's used to be pretty decent. Freaking Goose Island used to be pretty decent until they bought them up, and a lot of other ones that they use that they have now used to be actually pretty decent, and then they just fucked everything up. Plus their little snip at craft beer during the Super Bowl, okay, kind of really pissed me off too. And I was like, really? People are going for quality.
I thought that was funny.
Days.
Come on, did that really piss you off, or did it crack you up? Tell me the truth.
It pissed me off.
It did. It cracked me up. I just, I guess I have nothing invested in these, in these companies, and I don't think they're really, I just think it was just a very interesting sign of the times. I think it was very notable, sort of really defining a point in history where they're feeling the heat, and they respond. They had to respond, and it was in a joke way, but it's just like if we needed any confirmation that the whole like consumption percentages is shifting, they see the writing on the wall. In fact, this consolidation is probably an attempt to stay profitable amongst their shrinking markets. So I don't know. That's what I would kind of guess.
Well, I got a buddy who works for the other guys, all right, and he's all like, well, we're doing it because we want our 11% back, blah, blah, blah. And I go, it was never yours. It's like saying that you're a libertarian and that voting because you vote libertarian, that you're costing the Republican their because you didn't vote Republican. I was like, that is pretty stupid. I mean, 11%, Miller lost 4% to craft beers. You guys lost a good 2 to 3%. Okay, where'd the other 4% go, buddy? People stopped drinking. How about that? How about that fact? People just stopped drinking, or people just went to drink wine and hard liquor. That's a possibility too. So,
or perhaps the people that have lived a life on crap beer are dying.
maybe 4% went to AA meetings and quit. I don't know. So
yeah,
it's
who
possible,
knows?
But I said InBev and Miller Lite and even Sam Adams only owns the share that people actually consume. They can't just say, well, we lost 3% because I was like, there's got to be a
You just had a big lockup on me. There you go.
It just cracks me up to see what these people's reasoning behind everything is.
Hey, you know what? That's the world of business. It's about market shares, and it's about strategies, and it's about doing what you have to do to be profitable. And I don't fault them for it. That's what the marketplace is all about. And it's still, despite all the government intervention, it's still consumer driven.
Yeah, it's still
right.
Exactly. And these people are just like, well, we need to get, our people back and stuff like that. And I go, have you taken a step back and said, maybe it's your product that sucks?
Of course they have. No, of course they have. They know that. Why do you think they're buying up craft breweries? Why do you think they're running commercials to try to like diss craft breweries? They see the writing on the wall. Like they're feeling it in the pocketbook. And you know what? They're either going to adapt and provide what customers want, or they're going to continue to lose market share. I suspect they're going to continue. They're going to find a way to adapt. They're going to. Why not?
They're going to if they want to survive.
Well, look at look at Sam Adams, right? Like Sam Adams, announced their Rebel Raw. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Raw. Okay, trying to compete with Alchemist. Really? I mean, just. How interesting is that, right? Like, Sam Adams is what, 100, 1,000 times bigger than the Alchemist, and yet they're now responding, like, hey, well, maybe we can make something that kind of makes you think about that, like, hey, you couldn't get Heady Topper, but here's something that's in a similar can, and it's 10%. Like, hey, I'll try it. It might be terrible.
If I can get my hands on it, and we distribute the Sam Adams, and we haven't heard anything whether we're going to get anything or not. And we may not get it because it's going to be a limited distribution. So I may have to go to St. Louis or Chicago and get it. But
they're like, oh, this is going to shake up the marketplace with our. It's got to be served fresh, and our distributors are going to have to adapt, and it's going to change everything. What about Stone and Joy By? That's been around for what? How many years now? Like,
for the last 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, Stone's been rocking this model for years now without a hiccup. So, welcome to the party, Sam.
Yep. And
more power to them.
And for the most part, the Stone and Joy By is pretty good.
I've always enjoyed them. I don't get them very often. I usually
neither do I.
I don't get a chance to. I don't see them very often, but I also don't really go hunting them down either. But when I see them, I grab them. Because I know it's going to be great. That's why I said there's the big companies still are looking at the small timers to kind of find out what they should be doing, and if a big company like Sam Adams can adapt, I mean I didn't even realize how many craft beers Sam Adams has. If it wasn't for like having Scott on the show and like stuff that you guys show me, I'm like, I had no idea these beers even exist from Sam Adams. I always just thought lager, that's about it. But they're rolling with it. They're trying to stay relevant in that field.
Right.
Why shouldn't Coors and Miller and Bud and all of those beer brands start looking at it? It's like there's only so many like Bud Light Lime drinks they can invent,
Right. Even freaking Guinness is experimenting. They had that the Guinness Blonde or whatever, and then they just rolled out with the Nitro IPA. So, I mean, they know what's up. I mean,
yeah, they all know what's up. I mean, because they watch our show and we tell them where the market's going. It's like they're. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. That's why we have so many of these, beer industry insiders, who constantly listen to the Beer and Bullshit show to find out where their next investment move should be. And they could only hear us talk about Heady Topper, and Lawson's Finest Liquids and shit like that for so long before Sam Adams was like, okay, we'll do it. All right. So.
And the beers that we feature on the show, we give them a bump. So
Of course.
once we mention them, okay, people are like, "Oh, wow, I gotta get that," and then they run out of product, and they say, "Why are we running out of product?" There's a show called the Beer and Bullshit Show. Mentioned you on their show, and bam, we had to go get it. So
Yeah, look what we did to Hill Farmstead. Like you can't even like people are waiting in line like 3 hours, to buy Hill Farmstead now. So it happens.
yeah,
The Heady Topper. I mean, we bumped Heady Topper so hard that the town made them shut down their retail operation because it was disrupting traffic. Like that's the power of the Beer and Bullshit bump.
we're just bullshit now.
I don't know. We occasionally have an audience member. So,
but these are archived, so people go back and they listen too. So it's not like
what they do is
somebody
transcribes it. They transcribe it and then they take it to the board meeting. Is what they do.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, the shareholders meeting. Somebody reads it at they transcribe it, and excerpts are distributed at the shareholders meeting. So just so everybody knows what's going on.
So, did you go to New York City this past weekend?
I did.
Tell me a little about that.
Well, there was a bunch of speakers I wanted to see, and I didn't see any of them really.
Okay, explain.
Because it was all about just like with any of these kind of libertarian conference things, it's all about just hanging out with the other libertarians. So, it was always like, oh, so can't wait to see your thing. What time are you on? Oh, I just finished. Oh, sorry, I'll look for it on YouTube. And then there's a VIP dinner, which was kind of fun. Ian Chiaffi, I'm not sure how he pronounces his last name. To be honest with you, the organizer, Ian. I had bartered some like work on his graphics, did his like logos and banners and stuff like that.
Okay.
In exchange for VIP dinner tickets. So the VIP dinner was sweet, man. It was like the steakhouse, excellent food, just wine flowing, all covered. Unfortunately, I got seated right next to Gary Johnson.
Ooh. especially after I heard that said something to like, I'm not an Islamophobe, but I'm a Sharia phobe.
Oh yeah, and see, I didn't even know about that when I'm sitting next to him because of course I didn't watch his presentation because I don't care. I might have mentioned it to him. Instead, I was like, I asked him about his climb of Mount Everest. I'm like, that's actually, he deserves some like actual recognition for that, and I've never had a chance to talk to anybody that's climbed Everest before. So, he's a nice guy. He's not a libertarian, but he's a nice guy. I don't think anybody would, say he's not a nice person.
Right.
Austin Peterson was also there, but I didn't get to sit next to him,
I would have shot spit wads at him probably. So, and the week before you were at Annie and Garrett's wedding.
Now that was a kick-ass party. That was nice.
I saw the picture.
Really nice.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it was Rogue Dead Guy. Okay, let's just start with the beer. There were a couple other choices, but I just stuck with the Rogue Dead Guy. And everyone was really nice. The table settings were based on famous sci-fi couples. So instead of being like, oh, you're at table 1, we were at Amy and Rory's table, like from Doctor Who or other classic TV couples, where the tables were named after. So that's kind of how you found your seat and stuff. But nice folks, and the families were very nice. Everyone was well behaved. No one seemed to get hurt. So I don't know if they're back from Jamaica yet, but that's where they were headed for their honeymoon. So hopefully they're still there. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. Food was good. Got to sit with Nikki Darling and her boyfriend. I'm drawing a blank. Nice guy. Came in at some point he put on his stormtrooper outfit. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember meeting. I remember meeting Nikki at Portfest.
She's fun.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she's one of those people that are like you could party with her and she'd be just a riot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good. No, it's a good time at that. I'm really happy for them, of course, and of course Annie looked looked great. Garrett did the best he could. We'll have to get them. We got to get them back on the show soon.
Yeah,
there.
We need to give them a celebratory drink or something.
Yeah, definitely. So
this.
Go ahead.
So this IPA is not bad. It's hoppy. It's not as malty. Okay, and
is that the Mayberry?
Yeah, the Mayberry, right? And
what's the logo on your glass?
It's a Miller Lite one. Hey, I work for Miller Lite Coors. Okay, so
does that hurt? Does it hurt the taste of the beer though? Or?
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's the Mayberry one you're drinking from El Segundo?
El Segundo Brewery in El Segundo, California.
Is that near San Diego?
Yes,
my geography is not that good.
Yes, it is. In fact, A Tribe Called Quest had a song that came out when they were active called "I Left My Wallet in El Segundo." So,
I'm really looking at that little zone of the country as a place I want to take a beercation. San Diego region. I mean, where are these guys? Paso Robles, which I think is near there.
Right. You've got Firestone Walker. You've got Stone. You've got a lot of good breweries down there in San Diego. So
right, and that's and I only know about the ones that are shipping across the country.
Right.
Like the bigger ones. I want to find out what the other 20 ones are that I've never even heard of.
Right. So
think about how much fun that would be.
That would be an interesting time, and you would have to really pack your schedule because there is no way you're gonna. Even if you even had 2 weeks vacation time, there would be no way you could hit all of them in 2 weeks.
Well, yeah. Well, who our friend MK Lords lives is in San Diego now.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so so it'd be fun to drop in on her, and anyway, maybe next summer. We're talking about it if we have the fortune to be able to take another extended summer trip. Instead of doing New England again, we're thinking about just driving out west, just basically just cruising all over the country for the whole summer. And I could work San Diego in, definitely.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Sunny. Problem is, since we'd be traveling in the summer, lot of those desert places would be somewhat kind of interesting, for Arizona.
Right.
It's not, I don't think like August is the best time to like hike across the Grand Canyon or anything like that, but
No, you got to do that like in the spring or the fall. So
yeah. So, but we could still have fun.
yeah,
Probably do more mountains than deserts. Maybe, and of course we'd swing through Illinois, of course.
you'd have to swing through a little bit of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every other
tasty beer
state
there.
that has legalized certain thing would be included in that list.
Yeah. So also if I were to go back to Colorado, I'd have to swing by Sarah Blinco's father's microbrewery. So
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I know your daughter. I've had her on my show. So
We should get her back on. She's really cool.
yeah, she was. I'm planning on it pretty soon here.
All right, cool.
Maybe when she gets back from San Francisco next month or something.
And what about Amy? I think we should make Amy a regular.
I've sent an invite for her, but she never responded. So
I want to hang out with her, do some beer drinking with her face to face.
So
And what happened to Jessica? I guess she couldn't get her internet together.
no, she couldn't. So
oh well. So so I do have some news, and is that after 5 years, I am no longer being monitored. It's been a long 5 years, but it is my hellish ordeal is now over.
yay! You are free to travel across country.
I could always sort of do that, but I had to get permission. So now I don't have to ask permission.
No, now you don't have to ask no goddamn permission.
And it was my last trip to New York was my last chance to go somewhere without asking for permission. I was like, okay, so my last chance to break the rules was that trip to New York. So I seized the opportunity and did not tell them where I was going. But anyway, so yeah, next summer, cross-country tour. Michigan's going to be on there, like Upper Peninsula, come down through Illinois, just long enough to say hi at least.
Okay.
Head through Montana, Utah, Arizona,
Well,
California.
Well, I'll make a deal since you're thinking about going through like Upper Peninsula or whatever. I'll introduce you. We'll be in Munster, Indiana, and I'll treat you to Three Floyds beer.
All right.
They have the best hoppy wheat beer that you will ever drink.
All right.
It's just delicious. And then New Glarus, which is out of Wisconsin, they have
I want to sneak some of their beer into Minnesota or whatever, like whatever.
The Spotted Cow.
Yeah, I hear it's not even that good, but still, I gotta help, break that law too. So,
well, the Spotted Cow is not bad. I mean, it's not my favorite one of theirs. The Moon Man is absolutely phenomenal. It's
right.
great. It's great. It's a pale ale, and it's really crisp and citrusy. Oh my goodness. It's really good. So
Nice. All right. Well, let's hope it happens. Christina might be working a day job or something by then, so who knows if we'll be able to afford it, be able to work in the schedule. There's obviously a lot of questions between now and then, but
true.
But we've got this little cargo trailer now we used this summer that really made it a lot easier to bring a lot of gear on the road. It's like instead of just like stuffing up the minivan, it's just pretty uncomfortable to just overload a minivan with junk. It made like being able to bring all the camping stuff and keep it, in the trailer. And so, the driving, is a lot more comfortable that way. And when we get somewhere, just park the trailer and just, be a lot more mobile.
Yeah.
So, but it made me think like I could do this anywhere. We could go anywhere like this. You drive anywhere, anytime. So
cool.
Maybe I should just pull the kids out of school and go now. I don't know.
Homeschool.
Road school. We'll call it road school.
Unschool. That family that does the that bus.
The unschool bus?
The unschool bus, yes.
They sold the unschool bus to John Bush and Catherine Bleich, his family.
Oh, okay.
They now own the unschool bus. But I don't know what the unschool bus people are doing now, but I'm assuming they're still unschooling, but just not bus based.
Right.
When they came to I guess they flew to New Hampshire to get the bus, and then they were driving it back to Texas.
Okay.
This was like in the spring, I guess. And so they stopped. They're like, oh, you evidently need a lot of repairs that they weren't really counting on. So they're like kind of doing repairs on the fly. And they're like, yeah, we need a place to stay. Or like, all right, come on by. They parked the school bus in our driveway. Like it took the whole driveway. I mean, a school bus, this is a big school bus. And for like 3 days, they tried to get this thing fixed. John's working on the brakes, and it's dripping oil from end to end all over the driveway. And they were having a really hard time finding mechanics to work on it. And John's trying to do the work himself. And they finally got this one mechanic that said, yeah, maybe we can kind of do it. And it sat there for like a day and a half, and they didn't do it. And finally, they ended up just moving on with like defective brakes. Leaky brakes. But they had a few more challenges, but we got to host them for a few days, which was pretty fun. So they got cute little kids, and they're nice folks.
Yeah, they are.
So they're certainly welcome to stop back anytime. But I just felt, like my heart just went out to them. Like, they thought they're flying in, grabbing a bus, driving it back to Texas, and then it's like this old bus tech. Not necessarily the best, but I'd like to see the bus now. I think they've had a chance to remodel it, and I'm sure he's fixed it up nice. And they're running a bookstore down in Texas. So
right. Well, that's cool.
So I got Freedom Fiends tonight at 1. It's tough. I started out with okay, if I'm doing Freedom Fiends, I'm not drinking because I get too tired and makes me, less alert. Now I'm like, fuck it. I'll go to the bar, as long as I have time to, basically sober up before the show.
Right.
I
heard he lost a few fiends.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. Well, I talked to MK Lords, and she's like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to still be a fiend. And there was she's like, I'll fill you in, and she never got a chance to fill me in. But I don't do drama. I don't do whatever. there's still plenty of fiends, and I hope whatever issue, if there is an issue there, I hope it's worked out. But there's no need for personal like bickering. I think there was one host that was like sort of like with her YouTube channel was saying stuff that other people didn't agree with. So what? I don't care. Like it's not the kind of thing that would make me like, I'm not going to be a fiend because that other fiend said something that I didn't like, I'm too old for that kind of crap. But I guess for some people, they take it more seriously or whatever. But I haven't heard anyone officially like quit and like, which I guess is a good thing. At least if there are any issues, they're trying to keep it private. But how did you know there was a less fiends than before?
Because I saw a post by Michael a couple weeks back saying that there might be some people that might be leaving or maybe not be on as often or something like that. So
yeah, I saw that too. That's really you know about as much as I do, honestly.
Okay.
Well, MK was going to fill me in on something, but we never got a chance to, in New York. So, I don't know. It might be one of those things where I don't want to know. Like, Michael treats me well, and I have a blast doing the show. So why do I need to go looking for some stupid drama that doesn't involve me anyway?
True.
But it is pretty fun. And Jim Jesus, do you know Jim Jesus?
I've heard of Jim Jesus.
He cracks me up. Lou Sander Fiend cracks me up. Nick Hazelton is he's like a recently dropped out of high school to be a yak farmer, and he's like brilliant young man. There's quite a few interesting characters. So Brett Venat, Brett from School Sucks Project.
That's right.
I was on with him last night, but we had some pretty nasty tech problems, kind of like screwed up our show. But I would really been looking forward to being on with him, and I guess it was still okay. But he was having a bad sound issue, and I was having my computer froze up a couple times, and it's tough. It's tough when the tech works smoothly, it's great, but sometimes things go haywire and it's like, oh crap. But anyway. So you said Nick is having still issues from his surgery, or his shoulder screw up, or
I'm assuming from the surgery or his shoulder or whatever. So
poor guy.
And I guess he can't sleep. So, and if he does, it's only 2 hours at a time. So,
Pete.
So, yep. And then
sucks getting old and still trying to like jump off of cliffs into the pond. Don't do it. You're old. Once you're old, don't do that shit.
So, and then Jessica was having problems, and I couldn't get anybody else on, even though I invited them. Scott won't be on for a while until he gets a new system, operating system. So.
All right, cool. So when's our next show coming up? 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah, because it'll be 2 weeks, and then supposedly the first week in November, I've got to work all week. So, and then the next week, and then the 2 weeks after that will be back-to-back shows. The 11th and the 18th, and then we'll be back to, and then we'll have our 2 December shows, and the last December show is always the holiday show. So
Nice.
The winter beers are coming out now, so I'm sure.
Brace yourself.
Yeah, the bourbon barrel beers are coming out.
I don't mind bourbon barrel, so beats the crap out of pumpkin at least.
So yeah, I like the bourbon barrels, to tell you the truth. I really do. And then after the new year, we'll be back to doing our normal thing again. So
nice. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to need to bail out pretty soon. So anyway, at least it's been you and me, you know. Always fun to hang out and drink a beer with you, Chris.
Well, thank you, Jim Bab.
Using technology to span the distance. I love it. I love it.
Hey, we're doing it for the love of beer.
That's right. It's good times. So anyway, well, keep me posted, and look forward to next time, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, Jim Bab.
All right. Ciao.
And that concludes the 61st episode of the Beer and Bullshit Show. Just remember, always drink good beer, and use our suggestions on what you should get at your local beer store. You can always run through the old archives of the Beer and Bullshit Show if you're looking for some suggestions, and stay tuned. We've got some new stuff that's up on the horizon, and some changes they'll be coming pretty soon, and remember, drink good beer and stay tuned. Thank you.